Hey, welcome back to Woodworking Monetized, where woodworking doesn't have to be an expensive hobby. And for this second episode on this channel, we're going to make Steve Ramsey's potting bench from his YouTube channel, Woodworking For Mere Mortals. But we're not just gonna make one, we're gonna make three. All right, let's get started. So before I get into the build, here are the new tools I purchased from the profit from my first build video, Mega JENGA. I'll leave a link in the description below to that video. The total cost of the new tools purchased was $246.61. All my tools and prices are based off of Amazon prices, which do fluctuate. Links to these tools are in the description below as well. The total cost of materials was $127.74. When I subtract those amounts from the $407, that left me with just over $32. Now, I intend on selling these benches for $100 each, as I have in the past. All said and done, after these are sold, the running total of the Woodworking Monetized channel will be $332 and a great start to a basic tool collection. Each of these 6 2x4s were just long enough to cut the 60-inch back legs and the 35-inch front legs. With these 7 2x4s, I was able to cut all 12 47-inch longer shelf frame pieces and 2 of the 3 47-inch top braces. With this one 2x4, I cut the third and final 47-inch top brace and had enough length to cut 3 of the 12 16-inch shorter shelf frame pieces. And with these last 2 2x4s, I cut the 9 remaining 16-inch shorter shelf frame pieces. And there's the final 2x4 cut list. Prior to assembling all the shelves, I pre-drilled the holes first. When batching out this project, or any project for that matter, it takes less time overall to complete the frames of all 3 potting benches before moving on to the next step. When attaching the legs to the shelves, I drew a line on each of the legs at 6 inches, since that was the clearance from the ground to the bottom of the lower shelf. This gave me a point of reference, but I also checked it again with my measuring tape just to be sure. I also made a point to check for square as I attached the legs. There should be an 1.5 inch overhang on each side of the top brace. It's always a good idea to put the screws in your mouth at any opportunity. They taste wonderful. When cutting the cedar slats, I cut the 44-inch back pieces first so I could use the remaining length for the shelving slats. I cut those at 19 1/4 inch to give the shelves a 1/4 of an inch overhang. Since these potting benches are going to be exposed to the weather, I made sure to leave a small gap in between the cedar slats on both the shelves and on the backing. This allows room for expansion and contraction in the wood. One of the things I forgot to record was adding the vertical slats. After adding these 2 bottom slats, I would clamp the vertical support to the back slats, nail it on, slide the 3rd piece in, nail it to the sides, clamp it to the vertical support, nail that piece, and repeat the process all the way up. With the cedar slats on the end, I made a few marks with my pen and used my square to create notches for the 2x4 gaps. I then clamped each piece down and used my jigsaw to notch out each section. As you see here, I'm using my hammer to gently persuade these slats into place. Careful not to split the wood. After all the benches were complete, I used my random orbit sander to smooth over the rough areas of both the shelving and the backing. Correct, the sander wasn't purchased in this video. Check out my first video to see the initial investment of tools, linked in the description below. When sanding, I spent extra time on the ends to give them a slight rounded edge. So one of the things I chose not to add in these 3 potting benches was the compartment Steve Ramsey has in his plans that I've sold in the past. People haven't really seen the value in them. Also, if you like this video or like my series, go ahead and hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Sharing this video goes a long way for me. And other than that, we'll see you on the next one. Woodworking doesn't have to be an expensive hobby.